Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I am sitting just inside the top 500 of Master Ball rank. And what I want to show you in today's video are all of the decks I played. I've got some spicy stuff. I've got some meta stuff with a little bit of a twist on it. I'm going to show you everything I used to get to this point and give my best advice on whether or not you should even be playing those decks. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, like the video, and let's get into it. So the first deck I want to talk about is this Jolteon deck right here. This is what I primarily used day one to try to gain some points. Now, this list, I will say, Illusion put me onto the double Rocky helmets. We were on a pretty similar list, both playing 3 Eevee, but instead of Rocky helmets, I had 1 giant cape and 1 red card for a little bit of hand disruption. Now, I have heard some praises from some people who watched the stream, because all these games were streamed, telling me that, you know, Jolteon got them to Master Ball, or Jolteon did fairly well for them. And, you know, my thoughts on Jolteon are, it is a very quick deck. It can get you points ridiculously fast. You can, like, win games immediately. You will get a lot of donks in with the Raging Bolt Baby Jolteon, which does 40 damage plus 20 more if you evolve that turn. So you can do 60 damage to a Dino, to a Torchic, to a Froakie, something. Knock it out, win the game on the spot. And that's cool. But I've had a problem with the deck with just in general having enough energy to go around. Going first with the deck, while you do get the Jolteon ability to proc early, you are then 1 turn behind on energy, and in a lot of matchups, that can be almost game-losing. Jolteon has 140 HP, which means if you're playing against something with Chingling, be it either, or even without Chingling, like if you're playing against Hydreigon, and they start Dino, and they get to go 20 damage onto your Jolteon, Rare Candy Hydreigon, Jolteon EX is now dead, and your energy for turn on the Jolteon is gone, and you've lost the game. Altaria, if they can go Chingling and then move into an Altaria, hit the Jolteon for 130 damage, you lose the game. So going first with this deck feels like really, really bad. It's really not good to be behind on energy with this deck. So you do want to go second, and if you don't go second, it feels really, really tough. I personally think that this deck is a good way to try to get some very quick win streaks. I have gone on multiple extremely fast 5-game win streaks with the deck to gain me a good amount of points, but they are usually followed up with some not so good games, and it kind of evens itself out. So this isn't my favorite deck for ranked, but it does fit the role of being, hey, this is like the fastest deck in the game right now. It's gonna win games faster than really anything else can. And if that's your play style, go for it. It is also just a very fun deck to play, to be honest. I have a good time doing it when things are going my way. It's never fun to lose like 3 games in a row without being able to play, but it does have its moments. It is pretty enjoyable. So it's like a get you to Master Ball deck, but after that, if you're trying to grind and go past it, I don't know if I would continue to play it. Next, we'll talk about Mega Venusaur. Guys, I don't have too much to say, other than this is the worst deck I played in ranked. There is too much that can knock out an Ivysaur before it becomes a Venusaur. It still goes. If you get a Venusaur set up, you probably win the game, but you will get donked way too many times with this deck. It might even have to be that this deck is forced to play like double red card, double Sabrina, or double red card, a Sabrina, and a Repel in hope that that's enough to stop your opponent. Because if they get it, man, if they get it, you lose the game. And going second, that's even easier for them to do because you are not evolving faster than they are. So this is a deck that I really, honestly, I can't recommend. I have on the last YouTube video I posted, you know, there's a little highlight reel in there of me getting donked playing this deck. It's just not, it's not in the best spot right now, and I wouldn't recommend it really at all for anything unless you're really like, I want to play Mega Venusaur, I'm gonna do it. If you have that drive in you to get to Master Ball with Mega Venusaur, then go for it. But unless you, really the only reason to play it is if you want to be a Mega Venusaur one trick. That's it, man. I wouldn't consider this deck as like your back pocket. All right, I'm playing a lot of Suicunes. I wouldn't even go with this. I'd go with another deck I'm going to show you. Mega Venusaur, like, to me, doesn't really have a role, unfortunately, because, like, it's a really cool card, man, but it's just, you're going to get hit by too many Pokemon that can knock out the Ivysaur before he becomes a Venusaur. And, yeah, you're going to lose a lot of points without even really getting to play Pokemon Pocket. So don't really recommend this one. So we have this Mega Altaria deck with Giratina and Double Indeedee. Now my list has changed since my video that I posted. And honestly, I haven't played it much since then. I used this to get some like early points in Master Ball, but I really haven't gone back to it because there's another Altaria deck I like a bit more than this one. And the reason for that is this deck, to me, feels like it has problems with like an Altaria Greninja or something. Anything that can access your bench, you're going to have a bit of a tough time with, because if you don't lead Swablu, you have a lot of work to do to start attacking. Like, you're not a really aggressive Altaria variant. It takes you a bit to get everything online, and anything with bench sniping can be somewhat of a problem for you. Magnezone Oricorio, with this list, you're basically saying I'm either going to tie or lose that matchup. You can tie by having Rocky Helmet and Double Indeedee and just making the game go 30 turns. But you could put a Baby Altaria in it. I have seen some list with the Baby Altaria. I believe they usually take out the Pokemon Center Lady. Remove the Pokemon Center Lady, add in a Baby Altaria. So if you want a matchup into Magnezone Oricorio where you can actually win, that is what I would recommend. I play red over the Giovanni now because it feels like it hits better breakpoints than the Giovanni did. And yeah, I mean, that's the list. It's just very consistent. It is a solid deck to use for Master Ball or grinding up into Master Ball. But again, there's an Altaria variant I like a little bit more that I'll show you here in a bit. As I'm scrolling through, I realize I've played a lot of decks. Magnezone Oricorio. Again, I don't really have much to say for this. We all know Magnezone Oricorio. We know how it does. This is the list I'm playing. Again, this is just a list I grabbed off of a tournament. There's really no changes that I would make to it. The only things I go back and forth on are, do I really want a Clement or do I want double Copycat in the list? Other than that, that's like the only card difference. Because sometimes, if you already have a Magneton in hand, Clement's only going to get you one card. Copycat is like usually universally more playable than the Clement. And that's it, man. That's it. The deck is good into a lot of the metagame. Just the double Oricorio in the Magnezone. It's like really uninteresting gameplay though. You know, it's not like the most fun thing in the world. You're stalling with Oricorio. You're hoping your opponent flips tails with Magnezone. It's not the most fun thing in the world to play, but I can tell you it's guaranteed it's going to get you points. It's going to get you points. So this is probably the most boring deck I have on this list. So again, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but if you're looking for a good Magnezone Oricorio list, this is it. So when I was talking about Venusaur, I alluded to a better counter deck, and to me, this is it. Decidueye. So a couple things to talk about though, right? This deck is really just here to do good into Suicune. It can win other matchups, obviously, but there are a lot of things it doesn't really want to run into. It can win against Altaria, it can lose against Altaria. It can win against Hydreigon, it can lose against Hydreigon. It's like it's the same problem as the Venusaur, where your Dartrix might just get knocked out, or your Decidueye might get knocked out, and you just fall way too far behind. But some things to talk about with the list. So there are a couple things you can do. You can either play the Rocky Helmets, which are very good into Chingling decks. You put a Rocky Helmet on a Rowlet or a Dartrix, and now the Chingling is taking 20 back, and you could just like respawn, knock it out, or avoid it, and then the Chingling's going to knock itself out over 2 turns. That feels pretty good. Another card you could consider is, instead of playing the list like this, instead of Rocky Helmet, you go for the Leaf Capes. And then maybe instead of playing 2 of these bench sniping Dartrix, you switch in the Dartrix that does 30 damage. So now your way to deal with Chingling and kind of break that item lock is by evolving into the Dartrix and getting a free point that way, which is never a bad thing. That can set you up for like Baby Decidueye, snipe 2 small Pokemon on the bench to win the game. Getting an early point is not bad at all with this deck. I have felt not having Leaf Cape hurt me. I have felt Rocky Helmet help me. I really can't tell you which one I like more. This is the version that I have been playing, though, when I feel like playing, you know, just like a rogue counter grass deck. So it's kind of just up to you, man. Again, I've been hurt by Rocky Helmet. I've been helped by Rocky Helmet. I don't have a way where I'm like, you know what, dude, yeah. I haven't like had enough games where I'm like, yeah, dude, all right, put the Leaf Capes in, This Rocky Helmet's useless, because it has helped me out quite a bit. Both of them are really, really good. I don't think I'd recommend going for like a 1-1 split, because then you're just asking to get the wrong one at the wrong time. But this is Decidueye. This is the list that I've been on. We've got something spicy for you. And I'm gonna tell you, this deck is not very good. I'm showing it to you because I was gonna make a video on it, but like with most things, when Ranked is actually out and I'm able to test things in Ranked, if I don't think the deck is very good, I'm not going to make a video saying, like, hey, Steelix is amazing, you got to try this in Ranked. Because if I don't think the deck is very good, then I don't want you guys to go try it and lose a bunch of points. So Steelix, unfortunately, it has its moments. It can be good. But what I would say is if you really, again, it's like, hey, if you're here and you see this list and you go, you know what, dude, it does look really fun. Maybe I can get lucky. I can win a couple games in a row, go on a little bit of a win streak, and it'll be fun because I'm playing Steelix and that doesn't happen. This is a deck I grabbed from a tournament, and as far as Steelix list goes, it feels pretty good. It's a lot better when you start Skarmory. It's really not so good when you start Onix, but that's kind of the problem with Steelix anyways. This has been probably the Steelix list that I felt is the best as a Steelix deck. Because to me, the Steelix Oricorio deck is really just an Oricorio deck with, like, Steelix as a plan B if the Oricorios don't already win you the game. Steelix just hasn't felt all that strong, honestly. And I wish he was better, but it's really the 3 retreat costs, I think, that kills him. We're playing 2 of the Dig Onix because you kind of have to accept, man, if you start Onix, you probably have to turn that Onix into the Steelix. The active one probably has to become Steelix. And for that to happen, you might need a coin flip to go your way, and for Dig to prevent your opponent from doing any damage to him. So you have that extra turn of energy requirements, and then you can evolve into the Steelix and start swinging. So it even has like a 50-50 baked into it. Not even to win the game, but just to like play it and get your Steelix out. Not the biggest fan of the deck, but I thought I'd show you it because I did play it in like high-level Master Ball, and from my experience, it doesn't work out so well into the meta. So here's my beloved Absol Gren, and this deck is not what it was last format. Not at all. I have played enough games with it in this meta, and while I still believe I am probably more positive than I am negative with this deck, I don't see it. I don't see it working out as good as it did for me last format. I do think the deck is still higher tier for sure, but I don't think it's tier 1 anymore. I don't think it belongs up there with like the Hydreigons and the Suicunes and some of the Altaria variants. It feels a bit too weak to me now, and I'm not sure what exactly changed in the meta to make me feel that way, but I'm just having a lot less success with it. I know some other people are, like my boy Sek. He's been playing it almost exclusively, and he was for the first few days. I know he gained a lot of points with it. I think his opinion might have changed on it. He was playing like Suicune last I saw, so maybe he's flipped on the deck. But to me, the power level is just not there anymore. I don't really know what could fix it. I'm also getting very tired of doing like the Chingling War stuff. It's very uninteresting to me at this point. I'm not having a good time with the Chinglings. While I appreciate the plus 10 points, it doesn't really feel good to just win because I went first with Chingling and my opponent didn't play a Pokeball and then I knocked them out before they even get to play the game. It's creating a lot of like non-games, and I've been trying to stay away from some of the Chingling stuff, or if I'm playing a Chingling deck to like really make sure that my deck is equipped to deal with other Chinglings. While this deck kind of is, yeah, you have the Darkrai and the Rocky Helmet. It's just, it's been not fun. I don't know. I haven't been having fun with this deck like I was last season. So I still think it's solid. I believe the #1 player in the world is like exclusively playing this deck, and I think we're on the same list. I've been on this list since last format. I still don't really have a card that I would want to change from it. But obviously, like, it's working for someone. It's also not the easiest deck in the world to play. It is a little bit more goes into it than some of the other ones with, you know, like where are you attaching energy? When does Absol get it? When does Darkrai get it? Where are the damage pings going with Greninja? That sort of stuff. So yeah, it doesn't get a glowing recommendation for me, but I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it. Just not as strong as it used to be. This is the last like cringe deck I'm going to show you, and then we have one more at the end, which has been very, very fun. The most fun I've had in ranked. But this is Altaria Greninja, and I made a change, and I went up in a 2-hour stream. I went up 250 points with it. So, Altaria Greninja, but I took out one rare candy for a Frogadier. Now, why did I do that? I am so tired of Chingling Wars. I have yet to really been hurt by the fact that I'm playing one rare candy, one Frogadier. If anything, what has happened is I will have like Frogadier and Greninja in my hand, and that could have just been a rare candy Greninja, but the extra 20 damage for the most part didn't really matter. And I've had games where Frogadier has won me the game, because when I am playing against a Chingling deck that also plays Greninja, I know that as long as I am Chingling locking them, I will still have the option to get into Greninja and go for the Cyrus play, even under item lock, which has felt pretty good, man. It's been pretty good. Is it necessary? I don't know. I really don't know. It's probably still fine to just play double rare candy. All I'm saying is I went up 250 points on stream with it. Felt very good doing it. They were all like, I think I went on a 5-win streak, lost 2 due to some like really bad bricking, went on a 5-game win streak, maybe lost 1, and then went on like a 4-game win streak, and there were all of my points. So the deck flowed really well for me tonight. It flowed well when I was off stream as well, was gaining some points with it. It's probably the strongest deck I've played in ranked, to be honest. This list right here. I think this is the strongest deck I have played in ranked yet. So, not the most interesting thing in the world, but again, I got something that I'm about to show you that is much more interesting and has also gained me quite a bit of points. So this is my Charizard list, and I don't think there's been quite a lot of content on YouTube about Charizard, maybe not even like in high tier rank. So I do want to take a second to go over the deck and actually explain it. This could be its whole own video, and I did make a video about Charizard, but now I've gotten some like real games in with it in ranked. And I can tell you how it feels and why some cards are here and why others aren't. So we are playing Indeedee in it. Out of the Pokemon, that is maybe the most interesting thing. I put the Indeedee in the list because I found that I was having a really hard time dealing with Chingling Chingling into Hydreigon or Chingling into Altaria, knocking out my Entei really early on, and then I just can't like stabilize. The Indeedee has also come up quite a few times where that extra 20 HP, maybe 40 HP, depending, on the Mega Charizard has made a difference. The most fraudulent Pokemon to look at here is probably the Baby Charizard. It helps push, it helps you gain a few points against Magnezone or Ikorio for sure. It is a good May target. If you have the Baby Charizard in your hand, you can very safely toss it back into the deck with May and replace it for a Charmeleon or a Charmander or the Mega, and that is pretty good. So it's like, I really don't get a whole lot of use out of the Baby Charizard. It's maybe the most useless thing here, but what I will say is I haven't felt like I need to Mega Charizard Y. With double May plus Entei drawing cards in the active spot, I think I get the Mega Charizard almost every time I actually want it. I don't really have a problem finding the guy. So, if you take out the Baby Charizard, what are you really replacing with it? I'm not sure. Because again, it's like a good May target. I feel really weird going down on Pokemon because it's pretty often that you will start the game with a Charmander, no Entei, or with an Entei, no Charmander, and your hand will be like 1 Pokemon or 2 Pokemon and research in a May. And you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? And it just helps you get set up a little bit easier when you have more Pokemon, so you have the higher chance of starting them in your hand to then May them away. What else to talk about with the list? The Mars has felt good. The Mars, like after your opponent knocks out Entei, is awesome. One tip I will give you as well, if you start Entei and get a Charmander on the bench, typically, depending on what deck you're playing against, imagine with me that you're playing against Hydreigon, and your opponent has Dino in the active spot, and you're going second. And you can either put the energy on the Entei or the Charmander. It's usually better to put the energy on the Charmander because what will happen is if your opponent goes Rare Candy Hydreigon, you probably are not going to want to attack with Entei. You're not going to want to invest any more energy into the Entei. You want everything to go onto the Charmander that's about to turn into a Charmeleon. If they don't, you can still go Charmeleon attached to Entei, and knock out a dino or just start doing 60 damage. It is better to put it on the Charmander if you have Charmeleon, because you can still get the Entei powered up. Now, there are cases where maybe looking at your opponent's board state, you think a 4 energy Entei, so he does 120 damage, would be really good. So I'm just going to stack up as much energy on the guy as possible and try to get to that 120 damage as quickly as I can. Sure, but I just want you guys to be conscious of turn 1, the energy doesn't always go to the active Entei. You got to think about where the energy is going, either Entei or Charmander, and that's probably the most skill-intensive part of the deck, is you have to be really careful allocating your energy. It may feel like you have unlimited energy. You don't, man. You have to find a way to get 4 energy on the Charizard, and you need to set it up in the easiest. You need to make sure that once he's ready to go, you have the way to accelerate the energy, because you probably will have to accelerate 2 energy onto it the turn that he's ready to start swinging. So other things about the list, Giant Cape has felt good, Sabrina's felt good. I did hear rumors about some people playing double Rocky Helmet, double Sabrina in the list. Double Rocky Helmet, I would assume, would help you with Oricorios, obviously. You can put a Rocky Helmet on the Charmeleon, do 50, they take 20 back, they die. The double Sabrina sounds good, but I don't really know where the cuts are coming from. I think you'd have to get rid of the Cape. You might have to get rid of the Baby Charizard and the Indeedee, and that's 3 extra spots, so that would do it. You would just be playing 1 Mega Charizard Y, which does sound a little bit scary. Maybe they keep the Baby Charizard around, or maybe they play 2 Mega Charizard Ys instead of the Baby Charizard. Not 100% sure, but hey, we have, I have some streamed games that you can see of me playing the Mega Charizard if you want to watch. To be honest, though, it wasn't like, we didn't climb crazy, but off stream, I did gain a couple 100 points. I think about 150 to 200 points with the Mega Charizard. I went on an 8-game win streak with this deck, which is crazy because I was like top 2,000 in Master Ball, and I think that brought me up to top 1,000. So the deck definitely can do something. It is like a tier 2 deck, though. I don't think it's tier 1 by any means. There are a lot of things that give it a really big headache. Another thing to mention is that against the Jolteons that you might run into, Flame Patch does not trigger the ability of Jolteon because it's coming from the discard and not the energy zone. So something to keep in mind. Deck is very fun to play. It's probably the most fun deck I've played in ranked. You also, again, you got to think a lot. You got to really think about where is the energy going in order to be successful with the deck. So that is going to be it for the video. Hopefully one of these lists can aid you in your Pokemon Pocket ranked grind. Let me know if you've hit Master Ball at all. Let me know what you think about the meta, man, because I gotta be honest, I'm getting ready for the new pack. It's a little bit too much Chingling and high roll stuff. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.